What a magnificent, beautiful sunset that Mother Nature has given us to enjoy tonight. Today, I had a bit of an off day, and the day before that, I had a bit of an off day as well. And I've just been sort of collecting my thoughts and recouping, and I've been dealing with a lot of shit. And I feel like on social media, on my YouTube, on my Instagram, it can be easy to just lie and pretend to be someone that I'm not. And I really just want to be as real and authentic as I possibly can, because it seems like there isn't much of that left. So, since the last time I made a YouTube video, I've had a couple perspective shifts, a couple of things just going on in my head, and I'm going to walk you through them. And the other day, actually 2 times now, I went back to my old gym in my hometown, which is the gym where it all started, where my whole transformation happened. And since I was 14, when I first got into the gym, I've been lifting for about 5 years now. Probably 2 of those years I actually know what I'm doing and consistently. But it's important to know that I was making my whole entire transformation, and I basically was this little skinny, scrawny boy when I first stepped foot in that gym, and I didn't know what I was doing. I had no one to guide me other than my dad, who pretty much got me into the gym and then quit himself. And I had a few friends that would come, but they'd be inconsistent. And man, it was something different about it. I really fell in love with it right away. And I remember, even for my age, I mean, every 14-year-old is obviously probably pretty skinny, but I was like extremely skinny. That would be everyone's insult. If they had to throw shade at me, it would be because I'm skinny. I didn't get bullied or anything because no one could really play with me, but maybe behind my back or something like that. But that's not even the point of the video. I'm not claiming that I got made fun of or bullied ever. I didn't go through that. But what I'm trying to get at is going back to that gym that I haven't been in years. Just the raw nostalgia. And it's funny how you can walk into a place like that where a whole transformation happened, and it just feels so energetic and so surreal. And it's not a crazy gym. It's actually probably a pretty shitty gym by most standards. But it has everything you need, and I see these people around me. I see people that I grew up with, old friends all the way back from when I was 9, 10 years old. And not in an egotistical way, but seeing these people and seeing what has changed thus far in their lives compared to everything that I've gone through, even in just 1 year. Because you got to remember, I am different than everyone else around my hometown. I'm probably the only kid, not probably, to my knowledge, I am the only kid who went to college for 1 semester, 1 singular semester. I'm going to turn this light on just in case. I don't know how the lighting looks. You're just going to have to deal with it. I went to college for 1 singular semester, instantly left such a bad taste in my mouth. And it was, don't get me wrong, it was so fun. It was so fun. The first week, the first month was so much fun. It's so much dopamine because you're meeting hundreds and hundreds of people, making all these new friends. You're on your own and you're learning all these things about yourself, and you get that sense of freedom and independence. You can do whatever you want. You're on your own now. And that was really fun to me. The problem is is that I would quickly find myself spiraling down and down and down, and becoming, honestly, for the first time in my life, very lonely and very depressed. I felt, after the first couple of months, I started to notice some changes around me. And instead of everyone being all buddy-buddy like they are the first couple weeks or months, people start to change. People start to click up, and I stopped getting invited to stuff. I would notice that my closest friends, they all grew up together because I went to college way far away. And so everyone's from like the same high schools in the same area. I was like the odd one out because I'm all the way out from the other side of the state. And so it's hard, like it's crazy how even just two opposite sides of the state, how our morals and values and everything are different, and just the way we operate, right? And I'm not saying this in any egotistical way at all, I promise. Like I said, I'm trying to be real and authentic, so I'm just objectively describing what happened. And my experience is that a lot of people started to turn their backs on me. They stopped, you could just tell by their demeanor, you could tell they literally I'd be in the room with 4 of my roommates. None of them wanted to talk to me, but they'd all be talking to each other. And I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't do anything bad. And it just really hurt me. I felt very, very lonely deep down. I felt isolated. And I almost framed it as my mental state. I was literally alone in a cold, dark, it was so cold in the winter, even with the heaters or whatever. It was so freezing and cold, and just like a jail cell. I felt like I was literally isolated in a jail cell. But what this taught me about myself is that suffering will always lead back to God. Because I was pushing away God. I wasn't really, working on that aspect of my life. I had the fitness. I was locked in with that. Let me tell you this really quick. I used to go, in college, I used to go walk to my cousin who also went to college. She was a senior and I was a freshman in college. And I would walk all the way to her house or drive to her house. And before that, I would go to the store, buy groceries, go to her house, bring all my meal prep containers and everything, meal prep for literally like 3 hours, get all my ground beef, eggs, and rice. That was pretty much all my meals, maybe some chicken in there. And I would meal prep all this food. And I remember I would put it into the containers and go home. And while I was doing that, literally, I would be doing this as everyone else around me is partying, drinking, playing video games, you name it. And so this created some sort of jealousy, I guess, or envy between me and these people. And that's not just the only thing, and by the way, I'm not talking to everyone I went to college with. I'm saying just a select few people, because I had my friends that cared about me. And honestly, if I didn't have those friends, I know he's probably watching it right now. I probably wouldn't have the courage to be doing what I'm doing right now. He got me through it. And so I'm very thankful. I love you. You're watching this right now. Anyways, that's kind of why I decided, you know what? Screw this college thing. This isn't for me. I didn't even go to class. There were weeks, not even weeks, literally in the first semester, I stopped going to class for months at all. For months. I was just living in my dorm room, and I would sleep in till 5 p.m., wake up, go buy a white Monster Energy, go back to my dorm cell, load up Call of Duty, play Call of Duty, literally until 7 a.m., grinding camos. I remember this. And not even eating, not even working out, and just being an incel because I just had that lack of discipline. I lost all sense, and I lost the sense of God, and I had no purpose, and I felt miserable. And I never had any ideas of I don't know if I'm allowed to say it, but those thoughts. I never had any of that, because that's one thing about me, is that I will never ever have any of those thoughts, and I'm never someone that would ever try and do something like that to myself. However, this envy that other people felt on me, it started to become really, really hard, as I felt different. I felt like I wasn't like everyone else. I had a tough time fitting in when everyone else is all they care about is video games and TikTok, and I was focused on always improving myself, going to the gym and all those things. But it got to a point in the winter where it just got so hard. I had no motivation, and I just lost it all. And so that just goes to show how pretty much anybody no matter how locked in they are, no matter how disciplined they are, no matter how hard they work out, we all have these moments where it feels like we want to just give up. And that's what brings you back to God, whatever that is for you. I am not defining your God, but I'm saying finding some sense of a higher purpose above you, above your own ego, that'll give you a purpose to keep doing through Him, through God. So, fast forward, I go back to my hometown for winter break. And my classes and everything, I'm failing all my classes. So, I just go to my dad and I tell my dad, I'm like, look, I can't do this anymore. I honestly cannot do this anymore. It is killing me. I'm not happy. I'm depressed. Nothing is working. Nothing's helping me. I need to figure it out and do something else. And after looking at my story, analyzing and reflecting on myself, I came to realize I have a very unique story. I have a pretty good physique. And through the self-development I've been through, starting in early high school, from that sense of being isolated and not like anybody else, and not seeing the world like everybody else, I decided, through God, I can help transform other people's lives. And that is the most beautiful thing to me. If I'm able to just help a handful of people, and that's not my goal, I aspire to help millions, influence millions of people. But even just working with my clients and doing this whole online fitness coaching thing, it's really truly touching when I see the changes. You see the clients going through the whole taking risk. They don't know if this will work for them or if it'll help them, or they're a little skeptical because it's online and you can never know about scams and everything like that, or if it'll even work, or if I'm trustworthy. But most people that do book calls with me, they watch my videos and they have enough trust. They see themselves in me. You watching this. And it's not that hard of a decision. They make it, and I watch them go from someone who is making excuses, has these limiting beliefs, and I work with them extensively on calls, hours and hours, and just all around the world. Like, I have a client in Australia, and I think that's really, really dope. Just talking like we're buddies about, how life is different from Australia to America, and all these other, little nuances, and it's just really beautiful, and it's really truly what I like to do. So my message of this whole video, I guess, it's gonna be a little bit of a short one. I gotta get home, have another meal, and go to bed, is that if you're feeling lost, you're feeling stuck, you're just floating around and you don't really know what you're doing, and you're not moving towards something, and you're suffering, you must find God. You must build a relationship with God. You must go the lonely path. You must take risks and never be unauthentic, and really truly do what you know you're meant to do. So it was a beautiful sunset, a little bit of a rant, but I'm gonna get off. Until the next one, peace out.